1969 Ford Mustang, a classic legend that captivates generations. Few cars in history have managed to define an era, inspire an entire culture, and remain a timeless symbol of freedom and performance, quite like the Ford Mustang. And when it comes, two classic Mustangs, the 1969 model year stands in a league of its own. Bold, aggressive, and unforgettable. The 1969 Ford Mustang was more than just a car. It was a statement, a revolution on wheels, and a design masterpiece that still turns heads more than 50 years later. This is the story of a car that became an icon, blending raw power with captivating beauty, and why the 1969 Mustang remains one of the most sought after and celebrated classics in automotive history. New era of muscle. The evolution of the Mustang when Ford introduced the Mustang in 1964. It sparked a phenomenon. Affordable, stylish, and fun to drive. It created the pony car class and started a trend that competitors rushed to follow. By 1969, however, the automotive landscape had changed. The horsepower wars were in full swing, with Chevrolet, Dodge, and Pontiac all vying for dominance. Ford knew it had to take things to the next level. The result was the 1969 Mustang, a car that captured the essence of the muscle car era while elevating the design and performance of the Mustang to new heights. It was longer, lower, and wider than its predecessors, with a more aggressive stance that announced its presence with authority. This wasn't just a sporty car anymore. It was a muscle-bound legend in the making. Design that stopped the world. First thing anyone notices about the 1969 Mustang is its striking design. The styling changes introduced that year gave the car a meaner, more muscular look. The front end featured a recessed grille, flanked by 4 headlights to inboard. And to outboard that gave the car a predatory appearance. The lines flowed smoothly across the body, with sculpted sides and a fastback roofline that exuded speed even at a standstill. The Mach 1, Boss 302, and Boss 429 variants took the styling even further, with performance-inspired details like hood, scoops, spoilers, and stripes that emphasized the Mustang's racing DNA. Every curve of the body seemed to be drawn with one purpose: to command attention. Even today, parked among modern cars, the 1969 Mustang has a charisma that feels almost magnetic. Color choices added to the drama, from candy apple red to grabber blue, from lime gold to the sinister black jade. The Mustang's palette captured the vibrant spirit of the late 1960s, combined with chrome accents, wide wheels, and sporty badging. The 1969 Mustang was, and still is, a visual masterpiece. Performance to match its looks, of course. A car this bold needed performance too. Back up its image. Ford delivered in spades. The 1969 Mustang offered a wide range of engines, from the reliable inline-6 for budget-conscious buyers to an arsenal of V8 South that catered to true speed enthusiasts. The base V8 was a 302 cubic inch engine, but things only got more exciting. From there, 351 Windsor and Cleveland V8 South provided strong mid-range power. The 390 and 428 Cobra Jet engines turned the Mustang into a street-legal rocket. And at the very top, the Boss 429, built to meet NASCAR homologation requirements, became one of the most legendary Mustangs ever produced. With a massive engine that remains revered to this day, performance options included 4-speed manual, transmissions, heavy-duty suspensions, limited slip differentials, and power front disc brakes. The Mach 1 model, in particular, offered a balance of performance and style, while the Boss 302 became an icon in Trans Am racing, competing against Camaro Z28s on the track. This range of choices meant there was a 1969 Mustang for every kind of driver, from casual cruisers to hardcore racers. It was versatile, thrilling, and always unmistakably a Mustang. Inside the cabin, a blend of sport and comfort. Step inside a 1969 Mustang, and you're greeted with a cockpit designed to enhance the driving experience. The interior carried forward the sporty character of the exterior, with a driver-focused dash, round gauges, and a deep-set steering wheel. Bucket seats came standard, and high-trim models added wood grain accents, deluxe upholstery, and comfort features that made the Mustang as enjoyable on long drives as it was on short bursts of speed. The Mach 1, for example, featured high back, bucket seats, special trim panels, and a clock integrated into the dash. Even the soundproofing was improved, offering a quieter ride, unless, of course, you wanted to hear the rumble of that V8 engine, which was music to any enthusiast. Here's down cultural significance. The Mustang, as assembled, the 1969 Ford Mustang, was more than just a car. It was part of the cultural fabric of its time. The late 1960s were a period of bold expression, rebellion, and individuality, and the Mustang fit perfectly into that narrative. It represented freedom on the open road, the thrill of speed, and the joy of personal expression. In movies, television, and music, the Mustang became a star. Steve McQueen's 1968 Bullitt Mustang had already cemented its status as a Hollywood hero, but the 1969 models carried forward that mystique with even more swagger. For young drivers of the era, owning a Mustang wasn't just about transportation. It was about making a statement about who they were and what they valued. Collectors, dream why the 1969 Mustang still matters today, more than 5 decades after it rolled off the assembly line. The 1969 Ford Mustang remains one of the most desirable classic cars in the world. Collectors prize it not only for its design and performance, but also for its historical significance. Each variant, whether it's a base coupe, a Mach 1, a Boss 302, or the ultra-rare Boss 49, tells a different story about the golden era of muscle cars. Restored examples often command high prices at auctions, and original models in pristine condition are considered treasures. But beyond monetary value, the 1969 Mustang carries emotional weight. For many, it represents the dream car they admired as teenagers, the car that sparked their love for automobiles, or the car that embodies a sense of nostalgia for a freer, more expressive era, driving experience, power, presence, and pure emotion. What is it like to drive a 1969 Mustang today? In one word, unforgettable. While modern sports cars may offer more technology, precision, and efficiency, they often lack the raw, visceral feel of a classic muscle car. Turn the key and the engine roars to life, a deep, throaty growl that resonates through the cabin and sends chills down your spine. Press the accelerator, and the torque pushes you back in your seat, reminding you that this car was built in an era when horsepower was king. The handling is heavy compared to today's cars, but it's direct, mechanical, and honest. Every input from the driver feels connected to the road. And then there's the presence. Driving a 1969 Mustang isn't just about performance. It's about the reaction it gets. People stop and stare. Fellow drivers give a thumbs up. Strangers share stories about the one they used to own, or the dream they still hold of having one. Few cars create such universal admiration. Why the 1969 Mustang remains special in the crowded history of American muscle cars. The 1969 Ford Mustang stands out as a pinnacle of design and performance. It was bold without being excessive, powerful without being unrefined, and stylish without ever going out of fashion. It perfectly captured the spirit of its time while also transcending it, remaining relevant and revered well into the 21st century. It's not just a car you drive. It's a car you feel, a car you connect with, a car that tells a story of rebellion, freedom, and passion every time its engine starts. Conclusion: a legend forever, the 1969 Ford Mustang is more than just steel, rubber, and chrome. It is a legend, an icon, and a piece of living history. For collectors, enthusiasts, and casual admirers alike, it represents the perfect blend of style, power, and cultural significance. Whether preserved in pristine originality, lovingly restored, or customized into a restaurant. Every 1969 Mustang carries with it the DNA of one of the greatest automotive achievements of all time. Half a century later, still turns heads, stirs emotions, and ignites dreams. That is what makes it truly special. That is why it remains one of the most captivating cars ever built. And that is why the 1969 Ford Mustang will forever be remembered as a timeless legend.